You've heard the old advice, don't chase her. But then you watch her walk away because you didn't. So what's the real secret to making her want you? They told you to be passive, to wait for her to choose you. But in the real world, that strategy fails every single time. You're left stuck between two painful outcomes. Stay still and get nothing, or chase and watch her run. I'm going to show you the powerful difference between two types of pursuit and why mastering one will transform your results with women. If you confuse them, you'll end up either invisible or just a tool she uses. Most men never learn this distinction. It's the core reason they feel lost. Today, you'll understand it completely. Let me tell you about a guy I knew named Leo. He owned several businesses. Women constantly surrounded him, texting him, seeking his time. I thought, this man has it all figured out. But after getting to know him, I saw the painful truth. None of those women were truly attached to him. They pursued his lifestyle, his wallet, his social circle. This is what I call transactional pursuit. She's not following her heart. She's following a calculator. Her mind sees a clear advantage, stability, resources, status, and decides it's a good deal. And yes, this can function if you have endless resources to provide. But it has two devastating flaws that will poison any connection. First, it's unsustainable for most men. Not everyone is a millionaire. Second, even if you are, you'll never feel genuinely loved for who you are beneath the money. Leo confessed to me one evening, I feel like a walking credit card. If it gets declined, the affection vanishes. He was right. Those women stayed, but their loyalty was to his benefits, not his soul. There is, however, another kind of pursuit. This is the one that creates real, undeniable attraction. It's called emotional pursuit, and it's a force of nature. When a woman pursues you on an emotional level, it's not a choice. It's a craving. You become the experience her nervous system seeks out to feel complete. She thinks about you when you're not there. She reaches out because she needs to, not because she logically should. And here's the critical insight. This kind of pursuit isn't luck. It's a science you can learn. Let me explain with a simple story. Imagine a friend offers you a taste of an incredible drink. Try this, he says. You do, and it's amazing. A few days later, he brings you another. Soon, you start looking forward to it. Weeks pass, and now you're the one asking him, hey, got any more of that? Then one day he smiles and says, sure, but now it's $10. What shifted? He started as the giver. You became the seeker. In the end, you became the buyer. This exact pattern governs attraction. But instead of a drink, the currency is your attention, your presence, and the feelings you create. You offer a spark of connection. Then you step back. You return with a bit more, then withdraw again. Slowly, she begins to need that spark. Control the emotional rhythm, and you control the outcome of the game. This isn't about being cruel or playing games. It's about understanding a fundamental truth. People crave what they can't fully have, and they cherish what they have to earn. Women are deeply drawn to emotion, to challenge, to a sense of mystery. Yet, most men do the precise opposite. They meet someone they like and instantly pour all their attention on her. Constant texts, always free, endless compliments. Then they're confused when she gets bored. The reason is simple. Anything available all the time loses its value. Predictability kills excitement. But something that appears at the perfect moment, then retreats, creates a powerful need. That emotional need is the engine of true desire. If you're still listening, it's because you're ready for a real change. That already sets you apart. Most guys collect shallow tips and repeat the same failures. What's coming next is the exact method to transition from being the one who hopes to becoming the man she feels compelled to win. And it starts with redefining what it means to hunt. You must understand the crucial difference between a hunter and a beggar. The beggar pleads and follows. The hunter leads, but from a place of inner strength. He acts with purpose, not from panic. I once learned this from a friend named Marco. He wasn't rich or classically handsome, but women were intensely drawn to him. I asked for a secret. He said, it's all in how you frame the invitation. Most men say, are you free sometime? That's asking for permission. Marco would say, I'm taking you to this great place Friday. Tell me if you're free at 8. See the shift? One puts her in charge of your calendar. The other shows you have a plan, and you're inviting her into it. That's the first rule of the hunt. Never ask open-ended, follower questions. Your most powerful tool as a hunter isn't constant contact. It's strategic scarcity. Here's a rule that has worked for generations. In the beginning, only reach out once a week. Once. No more. I know you're worried. She'll forget me. Wrong. You'll build something far better. Intrigue. Most men flood her with messages from day one. It's normal, predictable, and boring. You will be different. You'll appear, make a strong impression, and then vanish. Think of yourself like a rare event. If it happens every day, it's mundane. If it happens at a special, unexpected time, it's unforgettable. That's how you use your time and attention. Let's see it in action. You meet her on a Friday. Don't text all weekend. Wait until next Friday. Then send this. Remember your passion for architecture? There's a private gallery viewing Thursday at 7. I'll pick you up at 6:30. Dress sharp. Notice the language. You're not asking if she'd like to go. You're assuming the sale. You have a plan. You're leading. That is the hunter's frame. Now, the true test comes. She might say she's busy. This is where men fail. The beggar scrambles. What about Saturday or Sunday? The hunter simply says, no problem. Another time then. And he means it. You don't negotiate. You don't reschedule for her. You accept her answer with the calm confidence of a man who has a full life. This reaction does something profound in her mind. It signals that you are different. You don't reshape your world for a maybe. You have your own mission. And here's what often happens. In most cases, when you respond this way, she comes back to you. She'll message you saying her plans changed. Why? Because you've just shown her you're the only man not chasing her validation. But if she doesn't come back, you do not chase. You wait a week. You talk to other people. A true hunter always has options. This mindset changes everything. You stop worshiping her and instead become the prize she works to earn. But the hunt is just phase one. Getting the date is pointless if you don't know how to spark the emotions that make her chase you for real. This is where many men lose everything after a single meeting. You have a good conversation. You talk about jobs, family, hobbies. It feels friendly. Then you never hear from her again. What went wrong? You had an administrative interview, not an emotional experience. Women don't fall for your resume. They fall for the way you make them feel. A wise friend once told me, people forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. That changed everything for me. I was asking safe, boring questions. What do you do? Where are you from? Questions that spark zero feeling. The magic lies in questions that tap into emotion and memory. Instead of what do you do for fun, try what's the most adventurous thing you've done in the last year? Instead of how was your day, ask what moment of the day made you feel truly excited? Master the emotion of the moment, and you master her memory of you. When you ask these, you must listen deeply. Be genuinely curious. If she says she loves hiking, ask, what's the most beautiful view you've ever seen, and how did it make you feel? Guide her to relive that emotion right there with you. In that instant, you're not just learning about her life. You're making her feel intense emotions while she's with you. Subconsciously, you become the source of those great feelings. You'll know it's working when her body language shifts. She leans in. Her eyes lock on yours. She plays with her hair. Her voice gets softer. That's your signal. That's when you test for a kiss. During a deep pause, glance at her lips briefly, then back to her eyes. If she looks at your lips too, she's ready. Move in slowly and confidently. Now, here is the master move almost no one uses. After you've built this incredible connection at the peak of the evening when the energy is highest, end the date. Yes, you leave first. Why? To leave her wanting more. You want her to go home replaying the night in her mind, wondering about you, craving the next time. Most men drag the date out until it fizzles. You will end it on a high note. Don't promise another date. Don't say, I'll call you. Simply look her in the eyes, smile, and say, I really enjoyed tonight. Give her a warm hug or a soft kiss on the cheek, and then walk away. That night, you will be all she thinks about. By morning, she'll be hoping for your message. You've now ignited the emotional chase. But this next phase is the most dangerous. She starts chasing you. More text calls, initiating plans. And this is where 90% of men ruin their hard work. I learned this the hard way with a woman named Sophia. She started messaging me constantly. Thinking I'd won, I became always available. I replied instantly to everything. Within 2 weeks, her excitement faded. I'd killed the mystery. The tension that drew her in was gone. Listen carefully. When she starts chasing you, you cannot become completely available. That is a trap. Your new power lies in control distance. But this only works after she's emotionally invested. How do you know? She initiates most contact. She shares personal stories. She fits into your schedule. She reacts when you're slow to reply. Once you see these signs, practice selective availability. Out of 3 invitations, accept 2. Don't always answer the phone immediately. Delay a text reply occasionally. When you decline or delay, never apologize or over-explain. Just act as if your own life and time are naturally valuable. This isn't being mean. It's understanding human psychology. We value what isn't always within reach. What happens next is fascinating. She'll often try harder. Her messages become more thoughtful. She plans more interesting dates. She is now courting you. Then comes a final test. She will likely test you by pulling away herself. She might get cooler, cancel plans, reply slower. She's checking to see if you'll revert to chasing. Your response is critical. Do nothing. Do not chase. Do not ask what's wrong. Stay focused on your own life and purpose. If she's truly invested, she will return, now with even greater respect because you proved your strength. If she doesn't return, she was never the right partner. This strategy doesn't just make her chase you. It keeps that dynamic alive because you establish that your attention is a reward, not a given. You now have the complete blueprint. From the first move of the hunt to maintaining the power of the emotional chase. You are no longer the man hoping for her attention. You are the destination. She must see you as a prize. Apply these steps and watch your reality change. If this resonated with you, hit the like button. It helps more men find this channel. And subscribe to Winds of Thought for more insights into strategies that shape your life. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the one insight you're taking away from this? Drop it in the comments below. Your perspective could help another man see the light.